Hello, movie patient, and welcome to Film Therapy. I am Brienne, also known as Miss Movies, also known as your film therapist. I'm not a real therapist, but I play one on the internet just for this show. And as with every session of film therapy, I have a guest patient. And my guest patient today is Connor, and I have no idea how to say his last name. So he's going to tell me right now when he comes to sit down in the chair.
Right now.
Right now. That's your cue.
That's Conner Schwerdtfeger is how it's
Okay.
pronounced.
And
Okay.
how long did it take you to learn how to spell your name when you were a child?
We're still working on it.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it was rough.
I was thinking my son is learning how to, well, he knows how to spell his name. He's 5 years old and he's working on his last name right
Yeah.
now. So we've got that going. We've
Yeah.
got that going. Learning just letters in general.
I've had to the harder thing has been learning how to tell people how to spell my last name
Sure. I had to
because
Google it.
most people run out of room because they assume I'm done at like halfway through. It's like SCHWERDTFEGER. And then I break up the DTF because I don't want people
Uh-huh.
to think I'm being funny.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. That's hilarious.
Those are the rules.
DTF.
Yeah. It's not fun.
Yeah, for you, I just went to Google Connor SCH, and then the rest of it comes for
I'm the
me. And I
one.
was like, yes,
Yeah, I'm the one out there.
the one with SCH.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
I'm unique
Just
like
the
that.
one. If you've never joined us for film therapy, here is how it works. I'm going to ask Connor 3 questions about film. They're the same 3 questions every single time that we do film therapy. What is a film that inspires you? What is a film or a scene from a film that triggers a memory for you? Perhaps it's painful, maybe it's happy. And what is a film that helps you through difficult times? At the end of today's session, we might do movie prescriptions if I remember to do that. So if you have a problem, let me know what it is and I'll prescribe you a movie. So we're going to give that a try. I've done this once before. This will be the second time.
Okay, this is not like a long running thing.
This is
This will
very
be
new.
us like
Very new.
okay.
Just
Oof.
going by the seat of our pants.
That's a lot of pressure. I don't like that.
So before we get into those questions, Connor, why don't you let those people that are in the waiting room and those people that are at home know who you are and where you're from and all that great stuff?
All right, so as we already established, my name is Conner Schwerdtfeger. I am a staff writer at cinemablend.com, which is where you can check out all my awesome writing. I just have the review for Justice League that just went up, so you can check
Mhm.
that out. I am from San Diego, California. I recently moved to Los Angeles, California. See, went to film school at Chapman University in Orange County, California. So I'm a California boy. And let's see, anything else you think I
Do you
could say?
surf then? Is that
I
like a
have stood
thing
up a
in
couple times, but I'm
Okay.
usually just embarrassing at it.
Well, most people are
Yeah.
embarrassing at it. But want to know what part of San Diego's huge.
Yeah.
So what part of San Diego do you hail from?
Carlsbad, California.
Okay,
It is
so
towards like
Legoland.
yeah, Legoland. I worked at
Yeah.
Legoland when I was in
Did
high
you?
school and during summers when I was home from college.
What
And
was your job there?
I worked at like the Carney games that they have, and I like
Okay.
spent most of my days like gaming children out of their money. Like I would rig things against the kids.
Now, what section of Legoland was that in?
You'd move around. I spent a lot of
Okay.
time in like the Dinosaur Adventureland. Yeah,
Okay.
I was a big
Okay.
fan of that.
Great.
Yeah,
I've been there like twice, so I'm not an expert.
don't go to the games with your kids.
I've never
because
done any sort of carnival games. I never will.
there's usually a hungover 20 something who's trying to get money from your kids and
Oh,
keep
okay.
the prizes.
But there's always one that you, no matter what, can win. Like if you do the one where you squirt the water into the clown's mouth,
Yeah.
and then the balloon like pops or whatever,
Yeah.
someone always wins that.
Yeah, those were the worst to work because you get in trouble if too many people won.
What do you mean if too many people?
Too
One
many
has
people
to.
won. You get in trouble if too many people won.
Oh, like too many people played the game. Like someone has to win every time.
Yeah, and you get in trouble. You'd had like a ratio. They're like, no. This many people need to lose. I'm telling a lot of
How
a
is
tell-all
that?
right now.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
How does that work?
it's a scam.
Someone has to win every time. There are games where someone does not have to win every time, but that particular one,
Oh well, we didn't
definitely.
have that one. So.
Okay, well then
they
that
were all
works.
win or lose. I apologize. I should have clarified
Okay,
that.
okay.
We were a hard system to beat.
That is a hard system
Yeah.
to beat. Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay. Star Drew wants to know if you're a Chargers fan.
I am a Chargers fan, and it kills me every single Sunday because they're just the worst. They're just the worst. If you got
That's
a
too
Pop
bad.
Warner football team out there, they'd probably make smarter calls on the football.
Well, now aren't they in Los Angeles? What's happening with them?
I mean,
I don't know what's happening with Los Angeles and NFL in general.
Yeah.
So
I'm not a huge football fan, but I do
Okay.
know that most of LA is not a huge fan of them, and San Diego is very bitter against them. So they're kind of a
Mm-hmm.
team without a city right now.
Sure.
Yeah,
Also, totally almost forgot. It's your birthday, so
it
I
is my
made
birthday.
you a ramekin cake.
This is
That's
so
what it looks.
adorable.
It's hard to see,
Yeah,
but
well,
anyways,
thank you.
I'm
It
gonna
is.
light that candle, and I'm not gonna sing to you because sorry, I don't sing Happy Birthday.
All right,
There's a reason
it's
for
fine.
not singing Happy Birthday, and that is because Happy Birthday, if you don't know, Happy Birthday has every single note that you can possibly hit, and therefore I can't stand when people don't sing it correctly. And
Oh,
so
okay.
therefore I've decided I will no longer be
I was
singing
gonna sing it
Happy
to myself, but
Birthday.
I'm not gonna
Okay.
now. All right, so
You can just make a wish.
all right, all right.
And yay!
Thank you
Good
so
job.
much.
Good
I'm
job. You're welcome.
gonna eat the
Here,
hell out of
you
this.
don't have to eat that right now, but if you'd like, you can.
Okay, all
So
right.
there you go.
It's a good day.
Yeah.
It's a
Hey,
good birthday.
gotta have cake on your
Yeah.
birthday. All right. Since it is your birthday, let's get into our first question.
Yes.
Which is, what is a film that inspires you?
Okay. It's very fitting that we have this right here because a film
Okay.
that inspires me actually is Batman Begins.
Batman
Batman Begins.
Begins.
It is one of my top 5 favorite movies, probably, and it is definitely a movie that like just yeah, it gets me.
Okay, so what is it about it that inspires you?
I
It
think
hit you at the right time, obviously.
I'm a big. It came out when I was like I saw it when I was in I believe 7th grade,
Hmm.
and that's during like a very hormonal like you're just kind of in the throes of puberty and you're just kind of
Yes.
like you're either angry or sad or like weirdly happy most of the
Hmm.
time. There's no even keel, and I don't know, just Batman.
It's true.
The Batman story has always resonated with me in a big way,
Okay.
but like that movie got to the heart of like somebody taking trauma, taking unhappiness, and sort of channeling it into something. And I feel like that's the
Into
best
kicking ass.
kicking ass or just like making a better version of himself,
Hmm.
like using pain to improve himself in a certain way. And
Hmm.
that's something that I think Batman Begins does better than any of the other Batman movies,
Okay.
personally.
So more about the personal journey of Bruce Wayne
Yeah.
rather than specifically the movie or the filmmaking or anything like that.
I think the realistic take on it is a big thing that resonated with me because
True.
it feels the most like some like it could happen. And I think Christian
Yes.
Bale plays a big part in that.
Hmm.
The fact that he very much transformed himself for the role and like he gained like 100 pounds of muscle and just like you
The
see
things he does to his body, I'm like, I
have you
can't.
yeah
I
have you seen
I
his
don't
Cheney,
think you're okay.
his Dick Cheney? He
Yes,
looks
and
like a different person now.
I don't know who wrote it, but it was like he has taken his final form as Dick Cheney, and I was like, oh man, the
But
way
yeah,
that you
in that
worded
specific
that.
case, I saw somebody who like he just coming off the machinist.
Right.
He gained just all that muscle back, and he actually gained too much muscle.
Yes.
So he
Make
had to
sure you keep that
this
right
happened last
there,
time I
right
appeared.
there.
How's this?
Yeah, that's good.
All right,
That's
cool.
good. That's good and close.
But anyway, and I think it's the commitment of an actor in a realistic take on the Batman character that really sort of
Hmm.
sucked me
Hmm. Okay.
in. Yeah.
Have you ever done acting? Do
N-
you ever want to do acting? What's your background with acting?
I have acted like
Okay.
in like student films and stuff like
Oh
that,
yeah,
but
that's that happens.
yeah, that has to happen. But I never considered myself much of an actor. I would
Okay.
like to. I would say that's probably like a one of those dreams that I have not gone after to like
Hmm.
appear in something as an actor. But that's one of those things I just haven't had an opportunity to explore yet.
So just student films.
Yeah,
No transformations are really needed
yeah.
for student films.
I
I did
didn't.
a few student films and man, I could not there were times where I just couldn't keep it together. I was like, I don't know how you're going to get a take out of this. Like, I
Yeah,
can't stop laughing at what's happening right now.
yeah.
I was like, maybe I shouldn't go into
And that's
acting
usually the case
ever.
with me. Like
Uh huh.
I have a bad time memorizing my lines,
Okay.
and that's probably the biggest thing that's going to hold me back.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What kind of nightmare? Okay, as a former stage performer, I always had this and teacher. I've always had this recurring dream where it's like I'm in this play, this musical, or this or whatever,
Yeah.
and I don't know any of my lines
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
supposed to go on. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, I have to learn all this right now.
Yeah.
Like, what are my lines? Do you ever have any of those dreams or something similar that like continues to come back to you, like as a writer or,
I
you
do
know?
actually because I am predominantly like most of what I do is entertainment reporting. So I spend a lot of
Hmm.
time at junkets or, sitting across from an actor or a director or a producer and doing an interview. I have like a recurring phobia that I'm just going to sit down and just either forget everything that I had to
Hmm.
say, or just make a complete fool out of myself.
See, this is why we were talking before the show started about hosting class. This is why hosting class would be great for you
Yeah.
because you learn that you're not supposed to go in with any preparation. And that's the scariest thing.
I prepare
But
for days beforehand before any interview, really.
but it also creates an opportunity for your interviews to go where you never expected them to go, and then you're going to get something way different than anyone
That's
else.
probably a good idea because
Hmm.
I have a tendency to there you go, girl. Just have this whole time. I have a tendency to over prepare for anything, and I think
Uh-huh.
that's definitely an area where I could work on that.
What especially working on certain things like what they'll teach you in hosting
Yeah,
if you decide to do it
I actually kind of
is
want to do that.
how to listen to someone
Yeah,
else. So basically like how you can stay in the moment and then take what they've said to you and create a new like question for your next part of it.
oh, that would be
So
such a useful skill.
so
There are
there
so
you
many times
go.
when I've had to like awkward segue to the next question that I have prepared, even
Hmm.
though it has nothing to do with what's been said.
Nothing
So
to do with what's been said.
yeah,
It's a technique called piggybacking, which I just did off of
piggybacking.
you.
Okay,
Hmm.
all right.
All you have to do is say the last word that came out of the person's mouth that proves that you have been listening.
That proves that I've been listening, huh?
See, there
There
you
we go.
go. You got a last word, last thought.
Yeah.
All right. So Batman Begins
Yes, I would say
is a inspirational as a character journey.
character journey
Hmm.
to
There you
achieve
go.
happiness and self acceptance.
Do you ever get bothered by the things that Batman does? Because sometimes I'm
Oh,
like, he's kind of an asshole. But I'm like, you got all this money, and this is what you're gonna do? You're not gonna just like
I
maybe be just a better person and give it to St. Jude or something?
I
I
think
don't know.
you for a character like that, you have to accept that he's actually not an aspirational character.
Okay.
You've kind of got to accept that a character like Batman is deeply flawed, and like that's
Hmm.
you know there's a line from Daredevil season 2 where the Punisher says we don't get to choose the things that fix us, and like that kind of applies to
Mm.
Batman as well. He's
Okay.
like
Okay.
that's the thing that fixes him.
All
So
right.
yeah,
Okay. I can respect that.
yeah.
Putting it in that perspective of Punisher, I can respect it.
I filter most things through superheroes. So yeah,
Okay. I
that just
mean,
that's how
you
I
and
work.
pretty much everyone else on the internet.
This guy. So yeah,
Definitely the Joker, who's this mascot of this show.
love this guy.
He is the best,
That's a
isn't
really
he?
great piece of art.
That's from Arkham Asylum, which
Oh
is
yeah.
signed by Mark Hamill. I tried to get rid of this poster, and let me tell you why.
Why?
Because I tried to get rid of this poster because I thought it was going to be frightening to my children, and so I was like, "This needs to go. We can't have this in our house."
I guarantee you they liked it.
And so someone suggested I put it in the bathroom to be like, "Brush your teeth, kids," because you otherwise they're going to look like that. And then my husband's like, we are not getting rid of this. It is signed by Mark Hamill. We are keeping this." I was like, "It will be in the garage then. Like
Yeah.
that's where it lives when it's not here."
Okay.
But my husband was very happy when I started doing the show, and he's like, "See, you have use for Joker now."
Yeah, I mean you can't get rid. It's a signed by Mark Hamill. That's a piece of entertainment history.
I know, I
Yeah.
know. My goodness. All right, let's get into the second question, which is, what is a film or a scene from a film that triggers a memory for you? Perhaps it's painful, maybe it's happy.
Okay. I thought about this, and I think it's a weird choice, but actually Inception. No,
Okay.
and it's because of where I was in my life when I saw the movie.
Okay.
Um, it was the summer before I went to college,
It's 2010.
2010.
Okay.
And I was just coming off of like the first actual real breakup of my life.
Mm.
So I was like this ball of like about to go to college, like something that everyone eventually goes through that's like emotionally, everybody remembers their first heartbreak type thing.
Sure.
And I sat down in that movie as like okay, I'm gonna forget about the world type of thing. And being a hormonal teenager, which is gonna come up. There's
Sure.
that scene at the end where he's like cradling Marion Cotillard's character. He's like, "We
Mhm.
had our time together," and me sitting there, I'm like, "That's my girlfriend." I was like just a stupid idiot
Aw.
about it. Yeah, because it was like very fresh breakup, and like I was a
Yeah.
couple weeks away from like going off and meeting new people and
A new journey
a
in
new
your
journey.
life.
So it was like this weird transition. Themes in the
Your
movie.
Batman Begins moment was about to begin.
Oh God, when you frame it like that, I love it so much. Love it so much. But yeah,
Okay, so how long had you been with this person?
uh, about a year.
Okay,
A year
so
or
in high
so.
school, like
Yeah, in
your
high school.
senior year of
It
high
was like
school.
junior through senior year.
Okay,
Yeah, like late junior through senior
got
year.
it.
Yeah.
That's Having relationships in high school in general, I find to be difficult, mainly because like you are going through like the changes of your life and you
Yeah.
don't really know who you are. And you don't, I mean, I am still figuring out who I am.
Yeah. I
Um,
don't think that's ever going to stop for me. I'm
it
never going to quite
doesn't.
land on it.
But you're going through such a bigger transition at that time in your life, so everything is hypersensitive.
Yeah.
And I can't wait till my kids get to this stage, and I'm just like, oh shit, kids, like I don't want to go through it again with you
Yeah, you're going to you
because
got a whole handful of stuff coming down the pipe.
oh yay,
Yeah.
I'm so ready. I'm so not ready. I remember like before we even had kids, and we were discussing having kids, and I'm like, I just don't want them to be these asshole teenagers. And then my husband's like, you have so many years before that's going to happen, so you'll probably build up a thick skin before then.
It's
I was
unavoidable
like,
though. It's going to happen eventually.
it will,
Yeah.
it will. And then maybe they'll mellow out in their 20s once they've gone to college and are like, okay, I kind of understand myself a little bit better.
Everyone
But
eventually
yeah,
does. But have you put any safeguards in place to try and like uh make them as not asshole kids as possible when they get to that age?
I would like to think so, but sometimes people are who they are. Like my daughter is the same person that she is now as she was when she like got here. I was like, she
Oh.
came out and was like, ah, and she's still that
She's
way.
only going to get bigger and stronger as she
Yes.
hulks
I
out
hope,
on
you
you.
know what? I am thankful for it at the same time because I'm like, I really hope that she continues to be a strong woman,
Yeah.
and like be like, I'm not taking that. Like,
Yeah.
no, you can't walk on me.
Well, that's a good, yeah, good
So
quality to have.
I'm really hoping that sticks, but it's gonna be such a nightmare for me later
Yeah.
because it's gonna be me that she's gonna be like, no, mom, I
Oof.
hate you.
I feel so bad for moms. I did
Uh,
that to my mom for a while
I'm
too.
sure we all
I'm sure
did.
you did that to your
I
mom.
definitely
All of
did.
you did as well
Yep.
in the waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking up the lingo.
Yeah, you got it. See, you're catching on. Okay, so about a year, a little over a year
Yeah.
then. And was the breakup like, well, we're going to different schools? Is this kind of like how that works, the dissolving in that way?
No, I think we just stayed together a little longer than we should have in the first place.
Okay.
And then it just was like, I think it just eventually, like, I got dumped.
Mm.
I'll say that, world. I'll say that,
Okay.
internet.
Yes.
But
Own it.
she could have handled it with a slightly more even hand than she did. Very
Mm.
abrupt, given how long we were together.
Sure.
Yeah, just got kind of dropped.
Okay. So you were okay. How exactly long were you together?
Uh,
18 months.
December '08 to like what, June of 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
I can't do that math that
Yeah,
quickly.
that's,
So
you don't have to do the exact months there. That's,
so maybe about 18 months.
yeah,
I'll just
give or
guess
take.
it. I'll guess it.
Yeah.
Um, and I was just thinking, like, you're supposed to take each year is a month long of how long you're supposed to like consider it and then move on.
Like considered,
Like
like be
feel
upset
it.
about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 2 months.
2 months.
How long did it take you to get over the breakup?
Uh,
Question.
that probably took me like another year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like
All right.
my freshman year of college was a little defined by it. And then we
Mm.
actually did end up getting together a little bit for a little
Uh-oh.
bit
Oh no.
afterwards. And then,
Okay.
but like,
And now we're together. We're getting
yeah,
married.
and she's actually waiting now. No, but
Okay.
it's like you said, you move past
Mhm.
that time in your life, and your hormones start to like level out a little bit.
Right.
And I think we both eventually realized like, oh, this we we should have just left it. But at that
Yeah.
time, there's still like that scar in like summer of 2010 where it's like, oh, that was a rough patch. That was a
Right.
rough period.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm just thinking how many people I dated in high school, and I didn't date like I didn't have a lot of boyfriends, but I would go out with people for like I don't know 2 months at a time.
Oh yeah, that didn't.
But
I
that was
I had the
about
one
it.
girlfriend. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was the first girlfriend,
Okay,
so
first
that was
one.
like, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I always wonder about people also that marry their high school
My
sweethearts
parents.
or that like see them like are away from them and
Yeah.
then later end up marrying them. There's
I
that too.
I don't get. Yeah, like I couldn't imagine marrying anybody that I knew in high school. I don't think
I
any of
don't
them
think
are
I could
like,
either.
they're all insane. They're all insane human beings. I couldn't do that.
I can't even fathom going to my almost 20-year reunion in a few years, and I'm like, am I going to do that?
You
Is
should
that
do
going to
it.
be happening?
No, you have to do it.
The 10-year is very much not. It's anticlimactic because it's like we
Really?
haven't really been out of college, out of high school and college that long. So what are we really doing?
Plus,
This
I
is
think
like
with
the
like social
beginning.
media and stuff, you're not surprised by
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah, that's why my mom's always like, "What's this person doing? What's this person doing?" I'm like, "Why don't you just be friends with them on Facebook, mom?"
My mom will totally like get into my Facebook to creep on people. She like thinks if she goes into hers, she can like they'll know. She's
Uh-huh.
like, no, no, look up Lisa. Look up Lisa.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's so all moms do this. I hope
yeah.
I
No,
don't do this.
this is
I don't
all.
want to know what other people are
You're gonna
doing all
hit
the time.
when your kids start doing the social media game. You're gonna be like a creepy internet lady. You're gonna
Oh
do it.
great.
It happens to everybody.
Oh no, I don't want to do that. Okay, so Inception, and mainly because of that scene at the end, or
And
well, the whole thing, because you were how long before the movie did she break up with you? It's
a
like,
couple
all right,
months,
I'm
but
gonna
it was like
go.
it was actually the first movie that I saw just that
Okay.
summer. Like it was sort of like it was a very definitive decision to see that movie
Hmm.
and just like take my mind off of something.
Yeah.
And so and like I knew I was a couple. It was like one of the last times I hung out with my friends, so it was like a couple weeks away from going off to orientation week at college.
Okay.
So it was like there's just something the experience of seeing the movie even more than just the movie itself.
Yeah.
I think was the um like specifically where it was placed on the calendar was the
Right.
big deal.
Right.
Yeah,
There's some movies that just like will continue to stay with you. Like Blade Runner 2049 will always be ingrained with another event that happened in my life, and I'm like, oh shit.
no, but exactly like
Like, why did this happen? Why did I have to go see this right after this happened?
yeah.
But
Are we
that's
talking about it? What happened? Or
um,
is that not?
we can kind of talk about it. Kind of. It this so this because this was recently. That was the day that stuff came out, allegations came out about someone in the online film
Yep.
community. A lot of allegations were coming forward, and I felt it was time to share my story about
Yeah.
the person.
Okay.
So
So
there you go.
there
That's
we go.
in a nutshell.
Well,
So now I'm like, oh, Blade Runner is the first thing I'm seeing the same day that this happened. Always gonna be there.
yeah.
Always gonna be there. But then I was also thinking while you were speaking
Yes.
about breaking up with people before college because I went to the junior college before I went to SC because I didn't have good SAT scores. They were
Yeah.
terrible. Um, and I had a boyfriend, while I was at the junior college, and I remember him breaking up with me right before I left for SC because he was like, I feel like we should just break up mainly because like you're gonna be meeting all these new people. You're not gonna want to be with me. You're
Yeah.
not gonna have a boyfriend back home or whatever. I was like, what? What do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then
What?
once I got there, I was like, yeah, that was a good decision.
Oh, there's a lot of people here.
Like, you're right.
A lot of handsome dudes
I'm
around
glad,
here.
I'm glad I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't stay with you.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
so I'm glad he
No.
let me go.
99% of that time, all's well that ends well.
Sure.
But the transition out of it is not the most fun thing in the world. No.
Yeah, it's not. Let's get into our final question.
Ooh, yeah.
Which is, what is a film that inspires you? Or not? No, that's not the final question. The final question is, what is a film that helps you through difficult times?
That would be my favorite movie, which is Top Gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you decide that Top Gun was your favorite movie?
It is the first live action movie that I can ever remember seeing.
Oh,
My parents
okay.
sat me down in front of it when I was like 3 or 4 years old. And it is, I used to watch it on repeat. Like I would finish the VHS, rewind it, and then just watch it back over again. And I would do that like on a Saturday, just all day.
Yeah.
Like I can pretty much do it word for word if it's playing in front of me.
How is it for that? Like, your parents were cool. I mean, how old were you then again?
Like 3 or 4 probably.
Okay, so
like,
then you're not old enough to understand like the sex scenes and stuff like that.
Movies like when I was a little kid, I thought sex was just kissing.
Sure.
Like I understood the
You're like,
concept of
"Ew."
that like sex was a thing
Right.
that existed, and I just thought like, oh, it's like Top Gun. They're just kissing, but Top Gun has the weirdest sex scene, so
It
it's
is
kind of a
very
weird thing to show a
strange.
kid. It's the weirdest sex scene. It is the weirdest. Yeah.
Top Gun is, I mean, gosh, I haven't seen it in a while, and I want to know if it's on Netflix. So if you have Netflix open
It
and you're in the
was,
waiting room, let
but
us
I don't
know.
know if it still is. Yeah.
I always found that what was most disappointing with me for Top Gun was the Nintendo game because it was so hard to play.
There was a Nintendo game.
There was a
I had a
Nintendo
Nintendo. How
game.
come my parents didn't give me the Nintendo game? I love that movie.
It was hard I could never land the plane like onto the I don't even know the term for the like ship that
Like
like
the
is
aircraft carrier.
yeah, the
Yeah.
aircraft carrier. I could
See,
never land it
I got that terminology down.
anytime. And you were able to pull it real quick. Too.
And
That's good.
guy actually said in the waiting room did say San Diego did have the flight school, right? I used to uh like drive by like the Top Gun school and like see the planes going
Mm,
when I lived in San
all right.
Diego. So yes,
And then you're
personal
thinking of
connection.
the soundtrack in your head.
Kenny Loggins' "Danger Zone" is one of my favorite songs of all time. That like
Kenny Loggins has defined your life.
it is on like every workout playlist, on like
Okay.
driving
Okay.
playlist. It is everywhere for me.
Um, that was something that I know my husband would tell me in elementary school when they had the PE teacher. Danger Zone was like their
Yeah,
warm up song.
it's the greatest song ever. If it doesn't get your blood flowing, you're not human.
Uh,
You're made of stone.
I mean, Kenny Loggins in general
Yeah.
can anything he does. It's pretty
There's actually also a Cheap
upbeat.
Trick song that plays over the credits, and that's
Mm.
like I actually like that one better than Danger Zone.
How's that go?
It's called Mighty Wings, and I'm not gonna sing
Oh
it. Look
darn.
it up though.
Oh,
Mighty
that's
Wings
okay.
by Cheap Trick. It's a dope song, folks.
Hmm.
It's great.
So also on the workout playlist.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, hands. It's like the
Is
first
it
one.
what, the whole soundtrack? No, because you're like,
Oh yeah.
you're like that's my warm up.
No, yeah. I warm up to that, and then I cool down to Take My Breath Away.
Okay.
Yeah, just
okay.
sit there, just
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I need
Oh,
a
it's so
workout
exciting.
playlist. I
Yeah.
don't have one.
I'll make you a Top Gun themed one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love it. I definitely don't have one. It's just mainly whatever's playing at the gym. And then I was like, maybe I should start to like listen to something. I used to do podcasts sometimes.
I do
like,
that
"Oh, I'm
sometimes.
doing this. and
Sometimes I don't
something
focus on the
doesn't work."
podcast though.
I know.
You like
So then you're like, why am I
you
doing
pop in and out.
this? Usually it's listening to How Did This Get Made? Because that's one of my favorite
Ooh.
podcasts.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm. I saw you, the picture that I took for this episode to promote on Twitter.
Yeah.
You're with Paul Shear. And I
I
was like, damn it.
I got to
love
interview
Paul
him
Scheer.
for The Disaster Artist, which is coming out
Amazing. I can't wait to see
soon.
that.
I don't remember when, but yeah.
December?
Yeah, I think so. I don't have the
think.
exact date, but yeah,
I don't know.
I have a press screening on like the 20th, so I'll
Of December?
no of November.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so-
coming up.
Yeah,
Monday.
if you're free, if I get a +1.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Stop right now.
Yeah.
Stop. Really?
I mean, if yeah,
But are you serious?
I need
'Cause
to
will
like make
go.
sure I'm free to go.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure I'm free to go. Before.
Right.
Yeah, but
I'm totally going.
okay, we're
So-
making plans, folks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I've always wanted to go to press screenings.
Oh.
I've been to one. The
Really?
Martian.
Oh,
That was it.
I literally never bring a +1, so yeah, we'll make this a thing.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I've lost my train of thought because
All
I'm
right.
very excited about that. But Top Gun.
Top Gun. Top Gun. Somebody say Top Gun because I'm super excited to talk
Top
about Top Gun.
Gun. That font was something we used for the sorority, like Alpha
Oh, yeah.
Phi. Of
Yeah,
course,
we
everyone
did that.
does.
Beta
everyone,
Theta Pi. We used that
Mhm.
a couple times.
You got to. That's
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do, right? And what else about Top Gun? Okay, so the video game was one thing. Oh, have you ever been to Great America in Santa Clara?
I have
Okay,
not.
It's now a Six Flags Great America, but it was at one time Paramount's Great America, and they
Oh,
had
so
Top Gun.
like a
as
Top Gun
They had
themed-
they had a Top Gun ride where you like lie down. It was crazy. You like lie down, if I remember this properly. So you're like the track is above you and
Oh,
you're
that's cool.
facing the ground.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. I have a lot of personal connections to that movie just in general. I worked at a hotel that's right on the pier where Kelly McGillis lived. So the house that she lived in that movie was right
Whoa.
there. I used to drive by the fighter school like for work and stuff when I
Mhm.
lived in San Diego. I've been to like all the restaurants and stuff that they went to in that movie. So just like I have a lot of like
Mhm.
personal
you saying
connections
you've
with
lost that love and feeling.
I have made a
people. That's probably
douche
the
of myself to
that's the fraternity.
too
like,
many
we've
girls at
gotta
sorority
sing it.
parties
Mhm.
with you
Mhm.
lost that love and feeling. It's not good.
And
Shouldn't be
then what
admitting
is
this.
your parents like connection to the movie? Like, why did they decide? Hey, let's.
I think
have
they
you
just
watch this?
liked the movie when it came out, and I
Okay.
think I naturally gravitated towards it. Like they just showed it to me as a kid,
Mhm.
and like I just fell in love with it. Like I'm a huge Tom Cruise fan. Like
Yeah.
I am upset. Like I'll watch anything with him in it. I didn't,
Yeah.
even the ones I don't like. And like the character of Maverick is just like a character that I like love to this day.
What's your favorite Tom Cruise like character that he's done?
It's either Maverick or Vincent from Collateral.
Oh, okay.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time, and like Tom Cruise playing a villain was just the coolest thing ever for me.
I
So,
love him in Magnolia.
I actually have
that's
never seen
probably-
Magnolia.
That one I just saw maybe 2 years ago.
That's been in my Netflix queue for the longest time, and I keep shifting it down
Yeah.
to like for the mail thing. I'm like, "Ah, but
Mm-hmm.
I want to see this first, and it just
Right.
keeps
That's always
getting
what
put down.
happens.
Yeah.
That's always what happens. I definitely highly recommend it. Mainly because, like, I think I wanted to see it because someone was talking about this part where it rains frogs, and I was like, "What?
I think I've seen a
I
clip
have
of
to
that or
see
something. Yeah.
this," and like what the context is of this.
That's like one
So,
of those moments that like YouTube compilations. I think
hmm
they show that.
yeah. So anyways, Magnolia is my
Tom
favorite.
Cruise in general. I'm just big Tom Cruise fan over
Okay.
here. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Have you spoken with him in a junket?
I have worked a couple different press events where he's been in attendance, but I haven't had
Hmm.
a chance to speak to him, and it's like one of those so close yet so far away things. It's
Yes.
so upsetting because I'm just such a huge fan.
One day.
Yeah,
It's
one day.
gonna
Oh,
happen.
I'm gonna make it happen. Yeah,
Mission Impossible, whatever is next.
yeah,
That'll be the next thing.
yeah,
Because obviously the mummy is come and gone. Can't do that.
yeah. That's
And that's all that I can think that's
and
on
I don't
his
think that's
list.
coming back.
All right. Well, thank you so much for answering these questions.
Of
Let's get
course.
into movie prescriptions. So if you're in the if you're in the waiting room, let's hear your problems and we will
Yeah,
prescribe you.
that's what it
We'll
is.
prescribe you a movie to go along with drowning out your
That's
sorrows.
right.
I mean, I was like, what's my problem right now? Here's my problem right now. My kids, my daughter this week has been on minimum schedule. What that means is normally my daughter's schedule is from 8 or 9 o'clock till 2:45. Gives me a pretty good window to maybe see a movie,
Yeah.
especially if it starts at 11, which
Mhm.
is normally I'm like, oh, that's tough. But this week it's 8:20 to 12:50 and I'm like all week cuz of conference and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I can't do this.
Yeah.
My problem is I don't have enough time.
Okay.
What's a movie that's like I don't have enough time? Either something really short or something about like not having enough time and you're frantic. Not frantic with Harrison Ford, but
Well, I'd watch Run Lola Run because
yes, I gotta
that
do
is
things quickly.
that is you got to do things quickly, and it is a short movie. I think
Okay,
it's in like the 80 to 90 minute
I love
range,
it.
so you can watch it.
Very
Are we
good.
doing? We good?
We're
All
doing
right.
better
Yeah.
now.
So Run Lola Run is what I would say.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. The only other one I would prescribe myself might be, and I don't know if you've seen it, maybe in film school. It's a short film by Todd Haynes, which is Superstar: The Karen Carpenter Story.
I've not seen it.
It's on YouTube, so you can see the whole thing there. It
Yeah.
is something that is not endorsed by the Carpenter estate, so they're pissed about it. And it's done with Barbie dolls. It's incredible, though. You don't feel like you're watching Barbie dolls. Like
Really?
after a while, you're like, huh.
And it's on
knew?
YouTube.
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna check this out.
Gotta check that
Yeah.
out. Let's see if there's someone that has anything. I don't know. I don't know. Falling for someone who didn't want a relationship.
Ooh.
Yikes. Huh.
Let's see.
That could be hard.
Okay.
Hmm.
I have
Yeah.
a backwards way of coming at this one.
Okay. Good. Let's hear it.
It's a problematic movie, but it's 500 Days of Summer.
Oh yeah. There you
But
go.
choose that to realize that if they don't like you, you shouldn't move on from that.
Because after summer comes autumn.
Exact. And because Summer's sort of the hero of that movie in her like quest to convince him to stop being so obsessed with him.
With her.
Or with her. Yeah, sorry. I'm getting my pronouns all mixed up.
Sure.
But like, you know, my opinion of that movie has definitely changed over who's right in that movie over the years.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she's
Mhm.
definitely right by the end of it, in my opinion.
Hmm.
And I think that's a good way of looking at a situation like that and realizing, oh, they don't like me back. Maybe I should take a step back and realize they're not obligated to.
Very good.
That's
I
my
like that
take on it.
approach.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the movie 500 Days of Summer, and I think it's because I like dance movies and I like dance sequences in film.
Yeah.
And anytime I'm like, name a dance sequence in film, people come at me with 500 Days of Summer. I'm like, can we just not? Because it's not a good one.
Yeah,
It's just thrown in there and it's fine.
yeah.
But it's not. Oh, maybe Sweet November. Oh, Sweet November. Let's discuss this film real quick.
I've actually never seen it, but
Um,
I just remember the trailer made me really sad when I was a little kid because it had that
Yeah.
song by Enya over it. That
It's
like
just
only time
there's a
song.
reveal that happens and you're like, fuck you, Charlize. So I feel like no.
I gotta check this
I
out.
don't know. I don't know. but Keanu's pretty
I
pretty
love
great in
Keanu.
it.
He's another like a Tom Cruise for me. Like I will watch anything with him in it.
This lady at work is out to get me. I've tried to be nice, but she still tries to get me in trouble while being nice to my face.
Ooh.
How do I deal with her? Working Girl. Is that a movie that we should recommend? I feel like that kind of sounds like Working Girl.
I would say Home Alone just to rig up traps to get her all, uh,
Yes. How can we?
piping hot doors, swinging paint cans, things like that, just
Mhm.
to just to take her
Yeah,
out.
or Amelie, because there's the part in Amelie where she like changes that guy's shoes out so he thinks his feet are like growing bigger or
Yeah,
something. I can't remember. You could do little things like that.
just little,
Gaslight,
just
another good film.
so you
That
can literally gaslight her.
yes.
Yes, this is
I don't
not
know if
good for
these are good
conflict resolution. I don't think this is healthy.
recommendations.
I don't think we're
It
helping.
might not, but here is something that that is I don't know. Watch Working Girl. Maybe that would have some conflict resolution for you. Maybe. I'm not sure because I've only seen like 2 scenes of it.
Maybe.
Mean Girls all over it.
Ooh, okay. You know what?
Mean Girls is great
Mean
because
Girls is actually.
it has that part where it's like you got to suck out the poison before you can like I don't remember the quote. Shit. But it's like, oh, you're right. If you get rid of the bad stuff, then you can finally have the good stuff again.
I actually think that might be just off the top of my head the best recommendation that we've seen on this topic because no, because it actually
Yeah.
does have a pretty good theme of like eye for an eye, not good, but just like get over your differences and stop fighting
Mhm.
by the end of the movie, like stop being clicky and all that.
Right.
I don't know. I think that that could have some lessons in there.
I love Mean Girls.
I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan of Mean Girls.
I've seen it way too many times.
That movie, like, I know a lot of like from the male perspective, guys don't know what they're missing by not watching Mean Girls. I
Mm,
know plenty. I was resistant to watching it when
sure.
I was like, oh, that's a girl movie. It's got like the pink aesthetic and like it's got all
Mhm.
the girls on the poster. That is not a movie for girls. That is a universally like
We can all relate to it,
delightful
definitely.
comedy.
We
Yeah,
can definitely all relate to it. I remember taking I went with my husband who was my boyfriend at the time and I think I saw it by myself, then I saw it with him, and then we took our friend Jesse, who never sees
yeah,
movies. And I was like, "No, you got to come see this movie with us. It's really good." And then he was like, "Thank you for taking me to see this. I really like this film."
yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
"No kidding.
Yeah,
Of course you do."
that's it.
Another one,
Tina Fey is goat. That's correct.
she
She is the
is.
greatest of all time.
Another one that I find that guys are resistant to but really like is The Devil Wears Prada. How do you
Yeah,
feel about that?
I've only seen The Devil Wears Prada once a long time ago,
Okay.
but I do remember like liking it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All
So
right. We'll go with that.
it's not my Mean Girls. It's
Okay.
but I do like Devil Wears Prada.
All right. Well, let's close this up. Thank you for giving us your problems. Hopefully, we gave you some good
And
recommendations,
a couple bad
good
ones.
movie prescriptions, or maybe not.
Yeah.
Who knows? We're just getting used to this. I tried doing this on Twitter once, and it took me a long time because people would give me a lot of responses. And I was like,
I'm
dude,
sure you would.
I gotta like
Yeah.
really think about
Yeah.
this. So maybe I'll do that another day when I have some time.
Yeah.
After this week and next week, my kids are off next week, the whole week for
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
that's right. Thanksgiving's coming.
So yeah, it's a lot of time with my kids.
Yay for me with no kids.
Yeah.
Good luck for you with the
Oh,
kids.
thanks. All right, Connor, where can we find you?
You can find me at ConnerWS on Twitter. And you can find all of my articles and just written content at cinemablend.com. Like I said at the top of this, my Justice League review just went up. And yeah, I've got just a bunch of good stuff coming over the week. So
Do you have a
check it out.
snapshot of Justice League?
Uh,
Anything you can say, or you're like, go read my article, kids?
no, go read it for the more. No, go read it for the more in depth. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. It is
Okay.
flawed, but if you're a DC fan, it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
That's my take on it.
All right.
yeah.
All right. You can find me all day, every day on Twitter at Miss Movies. And 6 Degrees comes back. When does that come back? The 29th of November. We're off next week because it's Thanksgiving. So spend that. And same with film therapy. I'm off.
Just gotta
Till the
take some time off,
29th.
guys.
Yeah. Then I'll be back. 6 Degrees. And then Mark and Draco will be here for film therapy on the 30th. So there you go. All right. Have a good afternoon, everyone. We'll see you later. Bye.